The world you see through headlines and screens is only the surface. Beneath it, there are stories that don't belong to horror films because they're real. No ghosts, no monsters from folklore, just people and the choices they made. These are the true accounts that shattered logic, defied belief, and blurred the line between sanity and nightmare. From killers who vanished in a legend to lovers who couldn't let death stop them. From the cold of the Russian mountains to the sweet flood that drowned a city, each of these 10 stories proves one thing. Reality is far darker than fiction. The Axemen of New Orleans, 1918 to 1919. New Orleans, 1918. A city alive with music, parades, and shadows. But in the stillness of night, something else moved. An unseen visitor who left only blood behind. The newspapers called him the Axeman. He broke into homes as families slept, never stealing, never speaking, only striking. Then came the letter, published for all to read. He claimed to be a demon from hell, one who loved jazz. He promised, on one night only, he would spare any home where the music played loud enough for him to hear. That evening, the entire city turned into a concert. Trumpets wailed, pianos thundered, and the Axeman vanished. No one saw him again. Some say it was superstition. Others swear the devil danced through New Orleans that night. The Dyatlov Pass Incident, Russia, 1959. 9 young hikers ventured into the Ural Mountains and never came back. When rescuers arrived, their tent was ripped open from the inside, belongings untouched. Tracks led barefoot into the snow. They found the bodies days later, scattered, half-dressed, faces frozen in terror. Some had broken ribs. One was missing her tongue. Others showed signs of radiation. The Soviet files concluded, death by unknown compelling forces. Theories spread like frost, secret weapons, UFOs, or something that hunted them in the night. No footprints but their own. No clear answer, ever. Whatever made those 9 flee into the dark, remain on that mountain, buried beneath the snow. Carl Tanzler, the corpse bride. In 1930s Florida, a radiologist named Carl Tanzler met a young woman, Elena Hoyos. He called her his soulmate, his destiny, his vision from God. But when she died of tuberculosis, Tanzler's love took a darker form. 2 years later, he broke into her tomb and took her body home. He replaced her decaying skin with wax, gave her glass eyes, wrapped her bones in silk gowns. He spoke to her, danced with her, even slept beside her for 7 years. When police discovered the truth, the world recoiled, yet couldn't look away. Tanzler said he only wanted to preserve their love. He died believing he had. Andrei Chikatilo, the butcher of Rostov. In the final years of the Soviet Union, the word serial killer didn't exist. Such evil, they claimed, was a Western disease. But one man, Andrei Chikatilo, proved otherwise. A teacher, a father, and a predator who murdered more than 50 women and children across Russia. Police hunted ghosts for years, refusing to admit the pattern. Their silence protected him and cost dozens of lives. When Chikatilo was finally caught, he mocked his victims in court. He was executed in 1994, smiling until the end. The lesson he left behind: monsters don't live in fairy tales. They walk among us, and they blend in perfectly. Armin May-Wes, the Rotenburg cannibal. In 2001, on a quiet German evening, a man posted a message online, looking for a man willing to be eaten. And someone replied. They met, talked, agreed, and filmed what followed, every horrifying detail. When police found the tapes, Armin May-Wes didn't deny anything. He said it was mutual, consensual, a shared act of love. The court struggled, because at the time, cannibalism wasn't technically illegal if both parties agreed. He now serves a life sentence. Still calm, still convinced he did nothing wrong. Sometimes, evil doesn't rage. It just smiles and asks politely. Madame Delphine Lalaurie. In 1830s New Orleans, Madame Delphine Lalaurie was the queen of society. Elegant, charming, untouchable. Until one night, her mansion caught fire. Firefighters forced their way inside and discovered horror beyond comprehension. Chained, mutilated, and starved. Enslaved people tortured for her amusement. The city erupted in fury. But Lalaurie escaped, vanishing before justice could find her. Her house still stands in the French Quarter, said to be haunted by screams that never stopped. Some say her ghost still wanders those halls, and others whisper, it never left at all. The Great Molasses Flood. It sounds absurd, but every word is true. Boston, 1919. A giant tank holding 2 million gallons of molasses suddenly ruptured. The syrup poured out in a wave 25 feet high, crashing through streets at 35 miles an hour. Buildings shattered. Horses drowned. 21 people died, trapped in sweetness that turned to suffocation. For years, the city smelled of sugar and death. A tragic reminder that even the sweetest things can kill. Jonestown Massacre, 1978, Guyana. It began with hope. A preacher named Jim Jones promised equality, a new world without hate or greed. He led nearly 1,000 followers into the jungles of Guyana, to a commune called Jonestown. But paradise decayed into control. Armed guards, isolation, fear disguised as faith. When a U.S. congressman came to investigate, Jones had him murdered, then gave his final order. Drink the flavor aid. Over 900 obeyed. Men, women, and hundreds of children. When the jungle fell silent, only the wind remained. Jonestown became more than a tragedy. It became a warning of how faith, in the wrong hands, becomes death. Issei Sagawa, the cannibal celebrity. Paris, 1981. A small, polite Japanese student named Issei Sagawa murdered and ate his classmate, René Hardevelt. Declared insane, he was released back to Japan. But instead of shame, came fame. He wrote books, gave interviews, appeared on TV. Crowds listened as he described every gruesome detail, fascinated, not horrified. He became a celebrity, proof that sometimes evil doesn't hide in darkness. It basks in the spotlight. Mary Bell, the child killer. Newcastle, 1968. 2 small boys found dead. Their killer was 11-year-old Mary Bell. She strangled them, carved her initials into one, and calmly watched the police investigate. When questioned, she asked if they'd found anything yet. Psychologists called her intelligent, but emotionally hollow. She served 12 years, then vanished into a new identity. Today, she could be anyone: a neighbor, a teacher, a parent. And her story leaves one question echoing through time. What if evil is born, not made? Truth is the darkest story. These stories were never written for movies. They were written by life itself. Raw, merciless, unforgettable. Every headline, every scar, every whisper of what really happened reminds us that fiction doesn't invent the darkest tales. Reality does. Because the scariest monsters are real, and they've always walked among us.